Tonight, the police chief on the St. Patrick's Day party.
We continue to be very concerned with the total cost, the level of risk, and the stress upon all of our systems.
And this year's more noticeable changes in keeping eyes on it.
It is meant not to intimidate and not to provide any level of concern. It's actually meant to protect.
A preliminary report on the 2026 edition of the notorious event, calling for change to combat racism in schools.
We need urgent action to be able to assist our children.
The findings of a third-party review that have a group of parents in the Guelph area speaking out. Plus,
the Kitchener Rangers!
Playoff bound and feeling good.
It was a great game overall, and it's a great feeling to clinch first in Western Conference and also reach 100 points.
The red-hot Kitchener Rangers soak up a day with their fans.
We're going to go all the way. Nobody's going to even touch us.
Before getting down to postseason business. Good evening. It was year in review day for Waterloo Regional Police at their board meeting today. Financials and hate crimes were among the topics on the agenda, but most of the questions for the chief were about something more recent, the unsanctioned St. Patrick's Street Party in Waterloo's University District. CTV's Karis Mapp following along with that meeting today and the questions to the chief. Karis, what did police have to say about that weekend party near Uptown Waterloo?
Tony, although the topic was not on the agenda, Waterloo Region's police chief did not shy away from answering questions about it. He praised the team for the overall operation and called the emergency response plan a success. The St. Patrick's Party was not part of the planned discussion at today's Police Services Board meeting, but when the chief took questions from reporters, the unsanctioned event was top of mind. Chief Mark Kroll calling the police operation surrounding it a success.
We're very proud of everybody involved to manage it, but moving forward, we're continuing to take a really firm approach to wanting to see this end and to not have such a dramatic impact upon our community.
Adding that a full report on the celebrations will be released publicly in the near future.
We will provide an analysis based on the impact, such as crowd size, the number of charges laid, and also some future planning commitments that we'll be making with our partners to stem the tides.
Thousands of people flooded streets in Waterloo's University District on Saturday, despite direct messaging from the city and police to keep roadways open. It was a much calmer scene Tuesday on St. Patrick's Day.
It is unsanctioned, but we have to plan for it, and we can't be dependent on whether we have bad weather or where it lands on the calendar.
The decision to place a sniper on a balcony to monitor Saturday's crowd was also addressed.
Providing that tactical overwatch was very deliberate to mitigate any mass casualty considerations. And so we understand that it caused some level of interest and intrigue, but I would say that is something that we have incorporated in our operational plans in the past, and we will continue to provide that consideration moving forward because it is required.
Chief Kroll says given the reality of the world right now, the service took necessary measures to ensure everybody's safety.
We've learned from the tragedies of mass casualty incidents across the world and across North America, and they now inform the way that we need to be prepared. This is a protective capacity. It is meant not to intimidate and not to provide any level of concern. It's actually meant to protect and to provide our officers and our emergency services partners every opportunity and advantage should the worst circumstances happen.
The chair of the police board stressing the street party shouldn't even be happening.
We have to stop it. It's not just manage it. We have to stop this because it is very risky and very expensive.
Police say they have looked at the option of making it a sanctioned event.
The excitement for a lot of the students is it's just being out on the street and sort of taking over. The minute we sanction something, and they've tried this before in homecoming at Laurier, no one went to the sanctioned events.
The public can expect a report on Saturday's street party soon. In the meantime, everyone involved continues to look at ways to shut it down altogether. Tony.
Karis Mapp reporting for us. Time for a check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon now for our first look at the forecast. And Ashley, the flurries that were kind of flying around last night and today got me wondering, Did we hit that record for the season yet?
Well, Tony, you're not the only one wondering. We've had a few emails from viewers, and we have not met that record yet. We are getting very close, though. Environment Canada updating the stats today for us. They've been very busy over the last few days with the big storm that went through most of Ontario earlier this week. So we had to wait a few more days, but now we have the updated stats. Record amount was 251.4 centimeters set in the season of 2007-2008. We are currently sitting at 232.1 centimeters in Waterloo Region for this year. Now, we have until April 30th, Tony, so lots of time to meet that record. And we just looked at our studios a moment ago, and it is snowing out at the moment. Now, we aren't expecting lots of accumulation, but every drop counts for that record. Right now, we're sitting at -4 in Waterloo Region, a nice calm 22-kilometer-an-hour winds. Starting to feel cooler, -11 with the wind chill at this point. And a quick look at our radar here. You can see a little band of precipitation there. Tony, we are expecting some overnight, so we might even get a little closer to that tally come morning.
Ashley, thank you. Turning now to developments in a Vaughan home invasion. Police have charged the suspect who was shot by the homeowner. Meanwhile, investigators are still searching for 3 other suspects in the case, which has prompted reaction from multiple levels of government. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
Shortly before 1 in the morning Tuesday, 3 suspects forced their way into the Vaughan home. You can see the man in the middle visibly holding a gun, the last to enter also possibly concealing a weapon. But they don't stay inside for long. Police say the homeowner picks up a legally owned firearm and shoots, causing them to take off. The act of self-defense generating swift reaction from Premier Doug Ford and others.
I'm glad you shot the guy. Teach us the rest of these robbers. Congratulations for shooting this guy. Should have shot him a couple more times as far as I'm concerned.
The NDP is calling Ford's comments irresponsible, with the mayor of Vaughan, Stephen Del Duca, writing on X, "No one should ever be put in that position, and I'm thankful that the homeowner has not been charged, as this was an act of self-defense." Officers say the homeowner and another resident weren't hurt, but why this home near Dufferin Street and Rutherford Road was targeted remains unclear.
They pulled up to this house for a reason, but that being said, without having all 3 of them, all 4 of them in custody, we don't know what the motive is behind this, and that is something we are still exploring.
Police say a few hours after the invasion, an injured man turned up at a hospital where investigators determined he had been shot by the homeowner. Now in stable condition, he's been arrested and charged for robbery with a firearm, identified by police as Treston Casanova Ullman. Officers say the 24-year-old has been wanted for months for offenses with a violent criminal group they allege is responsible for robberies and shootings implicating hundreds of victims.
He was out on a probation order, and so that's the cause for concern.
This is the 3rd home invasion in the Vaughan area this year. In January, near King and Mill Roads, a homeowner was threatened with a firearm, then hid with family. In February, a suspect stole jewelry and cash before crashing on the ramp to the 400. Neighbors near this recent invasion are feeling nervous and unsafe.
A lot of people here have kids, and I can't imagine my daughter going out, she's walking out the dog with all the shooting happening here. People are thinking individually, owning their own guns, and it's not something we want to do, but that's the situation.
Police say Section 34 of the Criminal Code allows for self-defense, but remind homeowners each scenario is different and judged on its own merit.
CTV's Beth McDonnell with that report. A Canadian man accused in a pair of high-profile murders has been arrested after nearly a decade on the run. Hamilton police say Daniel Tomasetti is in custody in Mexico, and they're working to bring him back to Canada. He's wanted in the killings of Angelo Musitano, a member of a notorious crime family, and Mila Barberi, a woman police say was not the intended target. 2 other men were accused in the killings. One was arrested in 2018. The other was found dead in Mexico 2 years later. Statues on the grounds of the Ontario legislature will soon be covered in protective wrapping. That move comes after a monument of George Brown was damaged at a protest earlier this month. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
The grounds of Queen's Park are home to monuments to all kinds of figures of history. Former prime ministers, longtime premiers, lieutenant governors, and fathers of Confederation. This statue of George Brown was badly damaged earlier this month. Graffiti filled with expletives directed at the premier, not entirely scrubbed away. Whatever was used was stubborn.
And so the cost was a little bit more, and it took a little bit longer than normal. It was in excess of $5,000, and that's public taxpayer money.
The vandalism came at the tail end of a student protest against changes to OSAP. The same group is planning an even bigger demonstration next week, just after MPPs return to the legislature.
So we're taking preemptive measures to prevent any damage to any graffiti on our statues on the grounds. We're going to wrap them temporarily.
That was the advice of the Sergeant-at-Arms in charge of keeping Queen's Park safe. The Speaker and the Premier say they're not trying to deter demonstrators.
Anyone who wants to protest, you come to Queen's Park, do cartwheels, jump up and down, whatever you want to do. Do not vandalize. Do not vandalize those statues. They're historic. And if you do, you're going to get charged.
One person was charged with defacing the George Brown statue at the last protest. A second charged with assault for allegedly spitting on a police officer. One of the organizers of that rally believes that police went too far and sees steps to wrap monuments as repressive.
Students have every right to protest and to take on a multitude of forms of protest, and it feels like a measure taken to sort of, protect the space and protect capital as opposed to, allowing for dissent.
The leader of the opposition says students worried about graduating deep in debt are right to be angry.
The government could solve this problem by coming out and actually reversing the OSAP cuts. We wouldn't have a rally next week. I won't have to introduce a motion to get them to reverse the OSAP cuts.
Mbalaja says no one from the government's been willing to talk. So on Tuesday,
we're excited to be louder, we're excited to be bigger, and we're excited to be better.
The students! Hoping politicians will be forced to hear them.
Siobhan Morris with that report from Queen's Park. Oil prices jumped again today as the U.S. and Israel continue their missile attacks on Iran. And as Iran retaliates, the conflict in the region only deepens. CTV's Heather Wright brings us the latest tonight from Dubai.
Overnight, Iran retaliated for the killing of its security chief, firing cluster warheads at central Israel. Payloads that are harder to intercept as they disperse midair. Israeli officials say the attack killed 2 people and caused damage in multiple areas. Dubai was also attacked overnight and this morning, with alarms going off throughout the city. Officials here say the drones and missiles were all successfully intercepted. Speaking to British lawmakers, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says more than 200 military experts from Ukraine have been sent to the UAE, Qatar and Saudi Arabia, sharing their expertise in fighting a drone war, something Ukraine has pioneered during its 4-year fight with Russia.
We do not want this terror of the Iranian regime against its neighbors to succeed.
The United States and Israel continued their campaign against Iran today. U.S. Central Command says it dropped bunker-busting bombs on Iranian sites near the Strait of Hormuz, while oil sites linked to Iran were reportedly hit by Israel. Iran also confirmed its intelligence minister was killed. The regime has vowed to respond by attacking energy sites in the Gulf, warning people to stay away from facilities in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. It's all leading to rising oil prices and uncertainty to how this conflict ends.
It's important to point out that once a war starts, you really can't control the direction it's going to go in.
Retired Major General Dennis Thompson says over the past 2.5 weeks, there has been a steady escalation of this conflict, which he believes has not reached its peak. He says the U.S. could still choose to hit Karg Island, where 90% of Iran's oil exports are shipped from, while Iran could go after desalination plants in the Gulf, cutting off a key source of fresh water.
I'm not convinced that there is a military solution to this, and they have to go the diplomatic route. If you keep killing the Iranian leadership, who are you going to negotiate with?
While Iran has allowed a few ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, the shipping route effectively remains closed. The UAE has said it is open to joining a U.S.-led effort to reopen the strait, but at this point, there is still no plan in place. Heather Wright, CTV News, Dubai.
The U.S. president's top intelligence officials testified publicly today for the first time since the U.S. and Israel launched missile strikes in Iran. Lawmakers demanded to know where the evidence is that justifies the war. With more, here's CTV's Joy Malbin.
Arriving in Dover for a dignified transfer, President Donald Trump honoring 6 service members killed in a refueling air crash as the U.S. military took new action in Iran, dropping multiple 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs targeting Iranian ammunition storage sites. As global oil prices skyrocket, Trump is determined to get the oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz, with or without support from U.S. allies.
We don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually.
The president's top intelligence officials grilled on Capitol Hill over what evidence justified attacking Iran now.
Did you brief the president, if he starts a war of choice, that the likely result would be that Iran would strike adjacent Gulf nations and close the Strait of Hormuz?
I have not and won't divulge internal conversations.
Democrats are clearly frustrated, asked if the president's strikes on Iran's nuclear sites in June obliterated the nuclear program. Why go to war now?
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide.
Trump's intelligence director says it's not her job to determine what is an imminent threat to the homeland, as her chief of staff, Joe Kent, just resigned in protest, suggesting President Trump was duped into war, blaming Israel. And with Marines on the way to the Middle East, President Trump has yet to make a decision on sending U.S. forces into Iran to seize the country's remaining nuclear material. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
More new homes equals a need for more water and wastewater services across Perth and Wellington counties. Coming up next, what Premier Ford was in Kenilworth today announcing millions of dollars for, and why one local mayor says it can't come soon enough.
Well, a couple of centimeters of snow expected overnight tonight. What will the last day of winter look like tomorrow and the first day of spring on Friday? That with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A group of parents of black students in the Upper Grand District School Board are airing their frustrations tonight after a human rights review revealed incidents of anti-black racism in classrooms. The group says the school board isn't doing enough to address concerns, take disciplinary actions, and keep kids safe. CTV's Alexandra Hollick explains.
Nia James and Marsha Myrie say they weren't surprised when a human rights review revealed there was anti-black racism within the Upper Grand District School Board.
It's not surprising because we hear it every day when we ask our children, how has your day been at school?
The pair is part of the UGDSB Black Parent Council, an independent grassroots group advocating for black students and their families. And they're calling on the board to address concerns over their kids' safety. The school board commissioned the third-party human rights review last April. Thousands of survey responses and hundreds of interviews highlighting some of the harm students and staff experience firsthand. Testimonies from students and survey respondents say the N-word is used frequently with little to no repercussions. The environment for black students in some schools can be described as a poisoned environment, the report states.
We need urgent action to be able to assist our children who, as the report clearly shows, are suffering within an environment that is supposed to be a safe and enriching environment.
The report lists 14 recommendations, which include developing protocol to report hate incidents, increasing community engagement, and clarifying the role of the Human Rights, Equity, and Accessibility Office.
I think it just left me with more questions regarding who is going to implement these recommendations.
And the council has recommendations of their own.
Transparency, timelines, to understand how long are we waiting for these things to take place.
I would like to see a stronger plan around systemic racism and how we address that, not just as parents, not just as students, but as, a school board.
In a statement to CTV News, the UGDSB says it takes concerns about racism and discrimination seriously. The board acknowledges the existence and impact of systemic anti-Black racism within publicly funded education and is committed to addressing it through sustained system-wide action, a spokesperson says. We remain committed to engaging with students, families, and community partners in a respectful and constructive way, and to ensure that all students feel safe, valued, and supported in their learning environments.
Equity-seeking communities.
James and Myrie say they hope the board puts action behind its words.
It is some of the most basic things that our children need to excel, to belong, to be able to participate in class, to be able to participate in extracurricular activities.
The board says it's working on implementing the 14 recommendations in the report and will provide updates to the public as they come. Alexandra Hullock, CTV News, Guelph.
Big infrastructure upgrades are on the way to support more new homes across Wellington and Perth counties. Premier Doug Ford was in Kenilworth this morning, north of Arthur, announcing a $29 million investment in provincial money. Most of that is to expand wastewater treatment facilities in Arthur and Drayton, while improvements are also coming to the sewage pumping station in West Perth and wells and reservoirs in Perth East.
These investments will increase resilience during extreme weather events, protecting more than 5,500 homes in the region and supporting the construction of hundreds more to keep the dream of home ownership alive for the next generation of families.
The mayor of Wellington North says the wastewater project in Arthur has been stuck in limbo for years.
We completed the first round in 2019-2020. And almost immediately we ran out of capacity from that first expansion. So this is phase 2 of the expansion. This will fund and allow us to be able to open up development again in Arthur because the pace far exceeded our expectations from the first phase.
The money comes from an $875 million provincial fund geared toward housing infrastructure. A live look outside tonight on another gray and dreary evening. Ashley's back with our forecast in just a few minutes. Also coming up, a call to free Willie, a push to stop using live animals in a decades-old southwestern Ontario tradition. And next, a Canadian child caught up in a detention center in the U.S. Okay, so referencing your numbers earlier with the seasonal snowfall record, it is kind of a record that no one wants to hit necessarily.
Well, that's not true. I bet you if you ask the folks at Chicopee, they might be really keen to meet those records.
Great point. And they're doing great right now this week. But I was actually a little surprised at how far we were from the record. I thought we might have edged a little bit closer to it. So I guess we're on the bubble as to whether we're going to surpass it.
We're now less than 20 centimeters, according by the figures we were given today. So I actually thought we were also a little bit closer than that. It felt like we got a bit more snow last week than we must have, but we're in for a couple centimeters tonight, and we have until April 30th. I think we'll get really close or beat it.
Okay. I mean, I won't be no tears shed if we don't get another 20 centimeters between now and the end of April.
I'm also in that favorsome of summer, so I wish it was warm, but I get it. It's fun to beat a record. It's it's always fun to be the best in some ways. Let's take a look at some of the flurries that are happening. Looks like it's subsided at the moment. We saw a little bit come through during our 5 o'clock program. Now we are going to continue to see spotted flurries throughout the overnight hours. At some points, we will see a little bit heavier snowfall, but nothing of major significance. As I mentioned, around 2 centimeters is expected to fall through the overnight hours, so not a lot, but it still could cause some issues if you're out on the roads. Let's take a look at the futurecast. You can see this is that band of precipitation. Slightly darker purple is a little bit heavier snowfall, so we will continue to see that move through. Now, Waterloo region, Mount Forest, we will still see a little bit of a heavier patch around 3 a.m. tonight. That's going to see all the way through to Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, we'll pretty much be in just cloud cover, a couple of spotty flurries, but nothing too major. We are going to see relatively clear skies going into Friday, but we are expecting some more precipitation to make its way through by Friday afternoon and evening. Whether or not that is snow or rain, yet to be determined. We are looking at rather warmer days moving ahead, but it could be right on that line in the overnight hours when we get to near zero. What's happening right now across the country? 12 degrees in Prince George, very nice there. Edmonton is sitting at 6 with a little bit of sunshine peeking through the cloud covers. In the Prairie Provinces, Saskatoon is at 4 degrees. Winnipeg right at the freezing mark. Over in our nation's capital, we're sitting at -3 with a bit of cloud cover. And in the Maritimes in St. John's, we're looking at -2 and a bit of cloud cover there. A little closer to home here, we're sitting at -4, so it is starting to feel a little cooler out there. Sun is almost ready to set. -11 with the wind chill, so it's feeling a little cooler than the -4 right now. Overnight, we are expecting to just dip to -3, so actually get a little warmer. -9 with the wind chill, around 60% chance for flurries. Tomorrow, however, the last day of winter, not bad way to go out. 5 degrees and a 30% chance for flurries. So temperatures expected to be above seasonal tomorrow. Could mean whatever snow falls tonight might not stick around too much longer. Taking a look at our almanac, back in 1916, we reached a record low of -23.3. So by comparison, we are right where we need to be for this time of year. Sun is now setting at 7:32 p.m. So we're getting a lot of daylight, which is great news. Taking a look at our first forecast, the final 7 for Waterloo region. Look at Friday, Tony, the first day of spring. 8 degrees is expected, with it bringing a little bit of precipitation, but check out Saturday. 13, a mix of sun and cloud. Sunday, a little bit of showers expected, a high of 8. So not a bad way to start the spring season. Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar there, but check it out. Friday, 16 degrees with some rain, a mix of sun and cloud for Saturday, and a whopping 18 degrees is expected for your Saturday. So that is quite a way to start your spring. In southern Georgian Bay, not as warm, but still quite beautiful. 7 degrees with snow and rain mix on your Friday, a mix of sun and cloud for Saturday, and 8 sticking around for Sunday, a mix of snow and rain with it. So not too bad to start the switch of the seasons. Let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Jim of these Swans on a sunny morning in Wrigley's Lake, south of Cambridge last week, when we had a little bit of that warmth and a little bit of sunshine.
I was just asking you when we saw this picture in a preview before we came on, where was there that much open water? But Wrigley Lake in North Dumfries, yeah. I mean, last week we were into some beautiful temps.
Absolutely, and that's when all of the ice broke up and pushed through. So, I mean, here we are.
Swans were having a field day.
Having a great day.
You bet. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Now to a troubling case of a 7-year-old Canadian girl who's apparently being held along with her mother in a once notorious ICE detention center in Texas. Her American stepfather is desperate, trying to get to the bottom of how a routine stop ended with his wife and child pulled from the car on Saturday, not to be seen since. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
No place for a 7-year-old to be.
No place to be is the Texas detention center known as Ursula, since renovated, but once known for holding children in cages. Edward Warner says his Canadian wife, Tanya Warner, and her daughter have been there since Saturday. Ayla Lucas has autism and is just 7 years old.
It's overcrowded, very loud, and they're just very stressed out right now.
The family lives less than 4 hours from the Mexican border. Edward says on Saturday they were coming home from a baby shower further south in Texas and, as they've done before, drove through a border checkpoint and showed ID when something went wrong.
They took her in saying that they need to fingerprint her to get more information, and she never came back out.
Warner provided CTV News this Social Security document that shows Tanya's citizenship status as a lawful alien with the right to work. Tanya and Ayla are in the process of immigrating from BC. They've lived in Texas about 5 years.
The priority is the trauma experienced by the 7-year-old in detention.
This immigration lawyer says PTSD after time in detention is not uncommon, nor is it uncommon for entire families to be detained for days or even months until their cases are sorted.
If you're Canadian in status with the right paperwork, you're still in jeopardy.
Meanwhile, Edward is doing everything he can, using a GoFundMe page to help hire a lawyer and still trying to understand what happened. All he knows is officers suggested there was a problem with a document number.
It's horrifying. I mean, it's not somewhere you want your family to be at, and it's not something anybody should have to really go through.
CTV News reached out to ICE and the Department of Homeland Security to ask about this case and why a 7-year-old is still in detention. The government acknowledged our request and asked some follow-up information about the pair, but didn't answer our questions by deadline. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
An updated wartime take on interest rates and inflation. Just ahead, the Bank of Canada's latest decision and its latest read on rising prices. The war in Iran is already having an impact on the global economy, and today the Bank of Canada is saying definitively inflation is going up. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver was at this morning's bank announcement.
It didn't take long for the war in Iran to boost the price at the pumps and kickstart an energy-driven consumer squeeze the Bank of Canada says is fueling inflation.
The issue for us is not really the immediate increase in inflation. We know that's going to happen. It's does that start to get generalized, start to spread, start to look more persistent.
The bank says it will work to make sure that doesn't happen, but warns the longer the war goes on, the wider the impacts on the economy that right now is weaker than the bank projected. Growth is slower, the job market is soft, and exports are lower than expected.
Normally, I think people would be thinking, well, you know, Canada needs some interest rate relief here. But once Mr. Trump started firing guns off in the Middle East, we knew that wasn't going to happen.
For now, the bank says the economy is being tugged in different directions by rising inflation and slowing growth. So it's taking a wait-and-see approach and holding steady at 2.25%.
Economic weakness combined with rising inflation is a dilemma for central banks. Increasing interest rates to slow inflation could further weaken the economy.
Economists say that decision makes sense, but they also warn global uncertainty will likely hurt consumers.
There's a lot of anxiety that's building about the anticipated inflation, and retailers are already going to be hiking their prices as they expect their costs to increase as these higher energy prices work their way through the supply chain.
The bank says it will be keeping a close eye not only on the war in Iran, but on the impact tariffs and U.S. trade are having on the Canadian economy. And if necessary, Tiff Macklem says the bank will act. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
All right, top stories now. Leanne Evans in studio with us, and a little bit of a review of the St. Patrick's Day festivities from a police standpoint. Wasn't on the agenda at the police board today, but the chief got some questions about how things all went.
Yeah, I think that's where the focus went right after the meeting wrapped. Questions from media. Chief Mark Kroll was taking them, and he praised his team for the overall operation and called the emergency response plan a success. He says a full report on the celebrations will be released publicly in the future. The decision to place a sniper on a balcony to monitor Saturday's crowd was also addressed. Chief Kroll says given the reality of the world right now, the service took necessary measures to ensure everybody's safety. Police have charged the suspect who was shot by a homeowner in a Vaughan home invasion early Tuesday morning. Investigators are still searching for 3 other suspects in connection with the case, which has prompted reaction from multiple levels of government. The homeowner and another resident were not hurt. The 24-year-old charged has been wanted for months for offenses with a violent criminal group.
And looking at what our digital team's working on, lots of people traveling again, and we've got some new numbers from the region of Waterloo International Airport, the kind of traffic they're seeing through the airport.
Yeah, more than 426,000 passengers flew in and out of the local airport in 2025. This was the airport's 3rd highest passenger total on record. And while passenger numbers have been affected by shifting travel patterns and fewer flights to the U.S., demand for travel within Canada and for convenient connections out of YKF remains strong. You can read more about the numbers and what's in store for the future on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
All right, Leanne Evans with our top stories. Thank you.
Thank you.
An international animal rights group is demanding that Wiarton Willie retire permanently. They want the town of Wiarton to stop using a live groundhog in the annual weather prediction ceremony. CTV's Scott Miller has more on this prognostication predicament.
What Willie told me is he did not see the sun, so everybody knows what that means. 1, 2, 3, it's an early spring!
For more than 7 decades, Wiarton Willie has helped break the doldrums of winter by playfully predicting Ontario's winter forecast. But PETA says this year should be the last prediction ceremony in Wiarton using a live groundhog.
With the passing of Willie, the time is now for the town of South Bruce Peninsula to set an example and show respect for all wildlife by ending this cruel tradition.
Following Wiarton Willie's death on March the 10th, PETA says now is the time to transition Wiarton's Groundhog Day prediction ceremony away from the use of a live groundhog towards more ethical options.
We hope they'll consider some humane alternatives, such as 3D holographic projections, an animatronic groundhog, or any other alternative that doesn't involve taking yet another live groundhog out of their natural environment to be used as a prop.
The town of South Bruce Peninsula declined to comment on PETA's most recent recommendation, but shortly following his death, town officials stressed how well Willie was cared for and how they were already starting the search for the next Wiarton Willie.
Willie has always been really well cared for and brings so much joy to residents and visitors alike. And while we're sad to say goodbye, we will be looking for a new weather prognosticator to continue this beloved tradition for years to come.
Wiarton has had many albino groundhogs perform prediction ceremony duties over the past 70 years. Since 2017, 3 groundhogs have been brought on stage to predict the winter forecast. But before that, the same Willie did the job for 13 consecutive years. Groundhogs usually live 3 to 5 years in the wild, but do tend to live longer in captivity.
There have been over 50 cities and towns worldwide that have already transitioned to more humane alternative Groundhog Day celebrations. We hope that South Bruce Peninsula will consider setting an example and being the next town to make this positive progressive change.
In Wiarton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Coming up, lured into a life of crime. A CTV W5 exclusive on Canadian teens being roped into international drug trafficking networks.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
An exclusive W5 investigation has uncovered an international crime syndicate luring Canadians, some of them teens, into becoming drug traffickers. 4 have been arrested in Hong Kong in just 4 months. CTV's Avery Haynes exposes the network behind the cocaine-filled suitcases.
19-year-old Jade from Cambridge, Ontario, faces life in a Hong Kong prison after customs agents found this inside her suitcase, 25 kilos of cocaine.
It knocks the breath out of you because this is your child.
Jade's mom, Nadiria, and dad, Gary, say their daughter was duped after answering a job posting for an international courier on Instagram.
She was excited, and I dealt with this guilt as a dad, why I didn't probe, why I didn't ask.
Our investigation reveals that Jade is one of 4 Canadians recently caught in Hong Kong with cocaine suitcases, a total of 100 kilos between them.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Prison chaplain Father John Wotherspoon is an internationally renowned advocate for drug mules in Hong Kong.
If we know of 4, there's probably maybe another dozen or so that we don't know about.
I traveled to Hong Kong with Jade's mother and visited each of the Canadians behind bars. I'm allowed just 15 minutes and can only take in scraps of paper and a pen.
And there are some striking similarities in their stories, including the fact that they all gave the same name for the person who's working above their Canadian recruiter. Well, it's not really a name, it's punctuation, a period. He goes by Dot.
The DOT network is specifically targeting young people in the Kitchener and Waterloo area, where both 19-year-old Jade and another imprisoned Canadian, 20-year-old Omar, live.
I heard stories and seen photos of people that said they have done it.
We're hiding their identity and calling them Lee, a person who claims to know dozens of young people who've made deliveries to Hong Kong.
So you believe that they're still sending people to Hong Kong?
I don't believe it. Like, I know it.
Lee was about to make a delivery, but it fell apart, triggering a flurry of threatening, encrypted messages from Dot.
He's like, you, like, f***ing kid, f***ing my shit up. Dot was also threatening to kill me, threatening to shoot up my house.
We are aware of the trend of some people being recruited through social media to transport drugs to other countries.
Waterloo Regional Police Staff Sergeant Ian Young heads up the drug squad and hopes this message will stop another cocaine suitcase from taking flight.
An opportunity that may seem like a golden opportunity may not necessarily be that. They're preying on people's innocence and trust.
Police say their investigation is a high priority case and involves the RCMP and Canada Customs.
And that report from CTV's Avery Haynes with our W5 investigative unit. More news in a moment. First, let's check in with Ashley.
Well, the last day of winter is shaping up to be a nice start to spring. Those details coming up after this break. Stay with us. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by Scrubs at 7:30. Then The Masked Singer at 8, Fear Factor House of Fear at 9, and cap your night off with Shark Tank at 10.
Lured by lies, trapping Canadians.
She's a 19-year-old girl.
W5 uncovers a crime syndicate, hunting for traffickers.
They just asked me to find people for them?
Watch W5, Saturday at 7 on CTV and Crave.
All right, let us check in with Leanne Evans one more time for a look at what we'll have later tonight. Leanne.
Well, Tony, we've been talking about it. The OHL season is winding down, and there's a couple of games on tap tonight. The London Knights visit the Royal City, taking on the Guelph Storm. The puck has already dropped on that game. And in Brantford, the Niagara Ice Dogs are visiting the Bulldogs for a midweek tilt. The Bulldogs have 3 regular season games left before the playoffs start on March 27th, where they aim to enter the postseason as the OHL's #1 seed. We'll have all the highlights at 11:30, Tony.
I've been saying it. We could see a Bulldogs Rangers OHL final.
Wouldn't that be good?
Oh man, it certainly would. Thanks, Leanne. We'll keep an eye on that road to the playoffs tonight. Just a couple of games left now in the regular season.
Which means that spring is nearly here,
Oh,
Tony.
that's the other thing.
I love hockey so much.
You're
you know
you're
that.
such a pro, just segueing that into weather and bringing me back online here. Love it.
But, you know, like I said, I love hockey more than most, but I love summer and spring even more. So let's take a look at our last day for winter 2026. We're going to wake up to not so bad conditions. We're looking at a bit of a snow mix condition by 6 a.m. That's going to start to taper off. Already by 10 a.m., above zero, mix of sun and cloud, getting to 5 degrees tomorrow, so not too bad.
Well, speaking of hockey, we're going to segue right back into that now because the Kitchener Rangers traded their skates for shoes this afternoon. They played in a road hockey tournament. It was the 2nd annual Downtown Showdown.
It's a chance for fans of all ages to meet the team and have some fun at Carl's Air Square in Kitchener. And as CTV's Colton Weens explains, hopes are high for the Blue Shirts heading into the playoffs after they clinched the top seed in the Western Conference last night.
Negative temperatures couldn't put a chill on the positive spirits at the 2nd annual Downtown Showdown in Kitchener.
To watch the Rangers.
We get so many families come out. It's a great event. Working with the Kitchener Rangers is the best. And the best part is it's absolutely free.
The Downtown Showdown brings together hockey fans for all kinds of family-friendly activities. And thanks to the colder weather this year, the ice rink was kept open at City Hall for anyone wanting to skate.
This year, we decided to keep the tournament with the Rangers on the road and open up the skating for anyone to enjoy the ice. So it's fantastic. Just adds to everything.
The stars of the event showing up around 1 o'clock in celebrity fashion, then playing a little road hockey game for everyone to enjoy.
The fans can get right up, the Rangers give them high fives, and this is a really good chance to be so close, so interactive with them, and it's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. I mean, it was really fun last year, and even more excited about this year to see what happens.
Just excitement, getting close to the playoff time, just to see the players, see the 3-on-3 hockey. Pretty cool.
They get 100 points for the second time in 2 seasons.
And spirits were even higher on Wednesday as the Rangers clinched their first back-to-back 100-point season in franchise history on Tuesday night.
It was a great game by us. Great to have the fans really loud and supporting us. It's a great feeling to clinch first in Western Conference and also reach 100 points.
The Rangers don't know their first-round playoff opponent yet, but tickets for Game 1 on March 27th at the Odd are now on sale. Hopes are high, though, for a deep playoff run from the Blue Shirts.
Yeah, they're going to win it. We're going to go all the way. Nobody's going to even touch us.
No.
Not even Brantford?
No, we got home advantage this year. We get home advantage.
And the Rangers have 2 games left in the regular season. They'll play their final home game on Friday night when they host Sarnia here at the Odd at 7 o'clock. And then they head to Owen Sound to wrap up the regular season on Saturday. Colton Ween, CTV News, Kitchener.
Exciting time. Ash, we should also say hello to all of the Billet families who live in our region, because the Rangers took a special moment last night at the game to acknowledge them, including one family who've been billeting since 1999.
Wow.
And
oh my goodness,
yep,
that's incredible.
Yeah, I know a couple of Billet families myself, and they play such a critical role in the overall organization.
We wouldn't have OHL as we know it without them.
Exactly. Hosts, mentors, you know, just friendly faces.
Just a good meal at home.
Yeah. We'll see you tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.